Hello traders, it's 𝗧𝗿𝗀𝗃 here. Welcome to session 147, live trading the ES. Traders, with the techniques and ideas I'm going to be covering with you in this video, you can apply to any market and any time frame, whether it be futures, forex, or stocks. Now in today's session we might go up to 30 minutes in time. Don't be impatient, stay with me, because we're going to be looking at some set charts, but then I'll go to a recording of some of my live trades. This is critical that you take notes, listen, because the strategies that I teach kick butt. Now today, as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the ES. And if you don't have the account size to be trading the big contract, or if you're a new trader, we want you to start really on the micro ES. Now of course you can start off on any micro. You can start off on the say the NQ, the micro NQ, there's the Dow, there's the Russell, there's micro now on CL, on gold, etc. So perhaps early in your career, hello, it's 𝗧𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃 here. Welcome to this training session, how to day trade any market with Renko charts, the $1,000 a day challenge. Now I'm going to be showing you how I achieve that. We'll be going through step by step with my core or key setups. If $1,000 is not enough, particularly for the young guns watching this, you simply increase your position size. Now what I cover in today's session, you can apply to futures, forex, or stocks. It is session 147, and today I'm going to be focused on the ES, but as I mentioned, you can apply this to any market. Now to trade this market correctly, and I'm going to be looking at the one tick Renko chart today, you need to have a $4,000 trading account, and I'll explain that and the why as we go along. If you don't have 4,000, you start on a micro where you only need 400, or you start with a prop account. So I've got many members trading with prop accounts, so we'll get more into that as we go along with this presentation. Now traders, there is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Stay on the simulator until you're consistently profitable. Now I'm not going to get into a great big advertisement right now, but just to give you an idea, I have a live trading room that I run 3 mornings or 3 evenings a week. 268 people registered to attend that. Then I've got my coaching program, which is another program I run twice a week, where I've got 274 people, and I've been running these for many years now. So perhaps the reason I've got these members I'm registered, I may have a wee bit of knowledge to share with you. And very quickly, if you haven't already, you can download one of my ebooks or my Excel spreadsheets, and I'm not going to even go into my members website. I won't talk about that right now. Let's get straight into this, because I want to give you massive value. So we're going to be focused here on this particular chart or this trading session. Traders, you know, you'll read lots of material and even watch videos where they state you shouldn't set goals or trading goals. Just see what the market will give you. Look, by having a goal, it gives you clarity, it gives you something to aim for, and there's nothing like hitting your goal for the day. We'll talk more about that as we go along. But trading the ES1 tick, you can only trade the ES1 tick during the Globex session. During the New York session, you're going to be jumping up to a 2 tick or even a 4 tick. You're going to need to increase your time frame, and the setups that I teach you here and explain as we go along, once again, you can apply to any market, right? It really does not matter, as long as you've got a market with some volume and that moves. Okay, you don't want to be in a sideways choppy market. Now I'm after between 16 and 20 ticks a day, and you'll see why in a moment. So that it will net you between 200 and 250 a day. Now in this particular session was actually what's that, $249 per contract traded. And what do I have here? I think this is 3 out of 3 in this session. Now what I'll show you in a moment, this was actually on the 29th of January 2026. The very next day I had, so this is the next day, and I'll show you this when we get to the charts here. I just want to show you consistency. This is back on the one tick once again. So I had 4 out of 4 here once again, 2,663, 12 minutes of trading in and out. So very happy with 4 setups, 4 trades, 4 wins. The next day we had there, now this is the first, so we jump up to the 1st of February. I had 4 from 4, and in fact, if I remember correctly, I went and executed, or maybe it's on one of his other slides, but I went and executed another 1 or 2 trades. We're up 2,700 after commissions. Was that the right one? Maybe that was from another day, but it doesn't matter. But then I went and fired off another couple of trades thereafter, and this is where it really goes against what I'll do, traders, is I'll hit my target and wrap up for the day. But on this particular day I could see some additional trades set up and I took them. Now Murphy's Law, first one was a loss, and that was what we call a pivot magnet for members watching this. Then I had an anchor chart 4 trade where everything was up, and then I had a loss, a win, then I had a loss, another win, and then another win. So I jumped up, and in the end the day wrapped up with 4157. So I just continued to fire off some other trades, and you can choose to do that. So that was 8 trades for 6 wins and 2 losses. I usually will wrap things up. Now this was at just after midnight, by the way. Then what do we have there? And this is our next trading day. Oh, this is actually today, the 2nd of the 2nd. So today, and how many trades did I have? 5 trades, 4 wins. And by the way, I've recorded these, and I'll do training. So for members watching this, I've recorded these sessions, so I'll produce them as a training session as well. But here, very simple. I've got a fanning of the EMAs, high. There was my first trade of the day. And down here then had a number of other trades. Look, this was a counter trend trade. Traders, I recommend to all traders, trade with the trend until you're consistently profitable. See the gold there? Follow the gold. That's what I say. Now I can show you day after day after day, but it's best that I play back the recording in one moment, and I'll explain exactly what I'm looking for. But if you want these sorts of results, this is what is possible with the setups that I teach you. Now I think it's important that you clearly understand my methodology when it comes to trading, rather than going for the home runs. And I love this movie from back in 2011, Moneyball, because there the Moneyball, or losing baseball team, would say, rather than go for a home run, just get on base. That is, those small moves add up. Just get on base. So what I mean here is that when it comes to trading, I want to scalp, hit a target, get out, look for another setup, in and out. That lowers the risk, it lowers the stress. So it's what I actually call it Moneyball trading. Now here, just very quickly, I mentioned a few minutes ago that you need $4,000. I think I mentioned it. You need $4,000 to trade this strategy, or with a prop firm. Now traders, I know your broker will say to you, look, you don't need $4,000 to trade an ES contract. Well, you do if you're going to risk 2%. We never ever risk any more than 2%. If you don't have $4,000, start on the micro. Okay, and if you start on the micro and go for $20 a day, within, so 400, within 12 weeks you've now got the 4,000. You can roll over and trade the big contract. And if you haven't, and by the way, you can go down below and click and download this version, and I've got a little training video on how to use this spreadsheet. But how it actually works, you only start trading a second contract each time you get another 400 in your account. So you're using the market's money. Now, to achieve $20 a day, what you need is 4 6-tick trades a day, which I'll show you in a moment on the live chart is the best way to do it. But then we roll over and we start trading the big contract. What are we after? We're after $200 a day. That's 16 ticks, and this is where traders get it all wrong. They want to go for 1,000, 2,000. They keep going. I wonder why they keep blowing their accounts, never achieving their targets. But here, traders, let me just ask you, would a $10,000 a week income basically pay most of your bills? For most people, yes. And here, by 12 weeks, if you execute 3 6, that's after any losses, 3 6-tick trades a day, there's 210. This is where you are potentially in 12 weeks. I'll show you these trades. Maybe you want to go for a smaller scalp, maybe you want to go for larger moves. Then if you're a young gun or an experienced trader, what if we up that to 250 a day, just an extra 4 ticks a day, an extra trade a day? Look where you are in 9 weeks. Look where you are in 12 weeks. You've now got a $20,000 a week potential income. Your account size 92,000. How did you do that? Just 20 ticks a day and only adding an extra contract every time you doubled your money. This is the true potential. Then I could just keep going, and I won't even get into this. This is where we'll actually trade the 1 or the 2 tick, and going for 325 a day. What's that? 5 trades a day, and it drops down. You can go for 8 ticks. But the reason I talk about 4, 5, 6, 7 tick moves on the ES tends to sort of, you get these little waves and pullbacks. I like to get in each of these. So look, let me pull up the recording now, and let's go through the recording. I'll explain exactly what I'm trading and how I do it. Now first, let me restart this. Where did I go? So sorry everyone, I just go back to this. So oh look, this is just on the chart itself. Okay, and so just to quickly show you the chart, and if we jump ahead now to where we are today, so this is the 29th, this date on the chart, and so I've jumped ahead 3 or 4 days, and now we're up to the 2nd of the 2nd. Look, we had one trade back here. I won't even look here. Where is it? Just here, a plain vanilla, almost a T20-1, almost a slingshot by the time I got in, got out there. Follow the gold. Remember that term. We've got trade potentials all the way down here on the 1 tick. Now I want you to look at the time. That's over 30 minutes. You've got plenty of time to execute. Now this is my second trade of a day, and this was actually a loss. Look, it was a very borderline T3 for members watching this, and I just got stopped out immediately. Traders, I say to all members, do not counter trend trade unless you're already experienced, because you have a number of CT trades. One, you can get very fixated on them, and trading with the trend is a lot easier. So anyway, I got stopped on that one. I then jumped in straight away, trade number 3, nice winner. I then entered trade 4, and away I go. So and so this is today, the day I'm actually recording this video. So let's now, and where we are now, so if we catch up, there's a number of other great setups. Note the arrows and the white paint bars here. These are some of my trade entry signals. But let's go back to this back here. So let me pause this and just point this out. So first of all, I've got a lot of, it's called angulation. My target here is to go for 250 a day, or 20 net ticks a day. Then I wrap things up. Now I want to limit my stop to a maximum of 6 ticks, which is $75 on this market, which is a bit under 2% on a $4,000 account. So if you want to trade 10 lots, you need 40,000, but of course the rewards are huge. But you start off on one and build. Now just here I've got a reversal. It was a T3 and I nearly get stopped out on this one. Now normally speaking, I have my stop would be 2 ticks larger. I actually got in this quite late. I should have been in on the close of the 4th candle. Instead I was in on the close of the 6th candle, and what that nearly did was to stop me out. I'm also at the current day's high. Now when it comes to trading, I'm really interested in where are my pivots, where's the current day's high and low, etc. So I'm short here. This is a counter trend trade and I'm almost stopped here. Now this is a fatal mistake that many traders make, that if your trading rules say a 6-tick stop, okay, it's a 6-tick stop. Here ideally, as I mentioned, it would have been 8 ticks, but anyway my rules on this particular range of setups was 6 ticks. It's kept me in by 1 tick. A little bit of luck there, the trading gods. Now see where I say note the angulation. That's the angle we can see. The greater the angle, the more likely you are, traders, to actually have a reversal. So let me just move this along a wee bit, just so we don't get because it goes another 7 minutes, but I'll just hurry this along. At times I paused the video, so we may be a bit more of a lag here. Now this is sort of nasty price action. What's hard to see there is I'm sitting right on a pivot. Now pivots become both price magnets and major support resistance levels. Now what I've got here is a major EMA and another one under. Now if I can break this EMA, there's a good chance I'll get down to the higher time frame. So let me just move this along a little more. So once again, I'm after a net 20 ticks here, and gee, this particular trade was quite slow. My stop is 1 tick above this swing. A little bit of luck there, as I mentioned. If you're trading with the trend or trend trading, you would not be in this trade, but you'd be looking at a trade over here somewhere or a little bit further along, as we'll see. And this is where trading really is about discipline and patience. For an example, there, here, these are all plain vanilla trades. When we start to take the CT trades, the counter trend trade, gets a little more complicated. Once we roll over and we're in the direction of the cloud and the gold, we're going to be trend trading again. But let me just, come on, get down here. So I'm just going to move this along, so slowly ticking down. Now just note there, I've gone to break then it popped down, must have paused it. Sometimes you'll see it, I'll go to break even at +5. So if my usually on the 1 tick, I'm usually targeting 6 to 8 ticks. That's $75 to $100 per contract, and I go to break even at +5. You'll actually see me sometimes, I go to break even and I'll pull my stop back up above the swing if I think it's going to wriggle around a wee bit more, and if I think there's a lot more in it. So now I've made a new lower low just here, and generally speaking we're looking for a short trade here. Note my indicators, they're all heading down. The gold's rolled over. I'm now looking for a trade in this area. Now as I then scroll along, just to save us a wee bit of time here, come on, get up here so we can see the price. Now by the way, this is 1:50 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's around the London Open. Now many of you, of course, if you're USA based, where most of my members are, You're perhaps not going to want to trade around this time, but you could trade when you get home at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is where then the one tick is very tradable, as is gold and a number of other markets. Look, the Russell, for an example, after hours can be thinly traded, where we've still got great volume on the ES. Now, generally speaking, traders, I'm expecting a short trade here, and see that they have a second candle. This is where we'd be getting ready, but note the white, and let me pause. See that white trigger line just there? I don't have a hook here. See the arrow or the white paint bar? They will be my final confirmations, but see how I've put a sell order in. On what basis have I put that sell order in? I'm waiting for my anchor chart 1 candle to close in the direction of the trend. In other words, traders, I have 3 charts that I use. 2 of them are absolutely critical. This is what I call an entry chart. Then I have a higher time frame called the anchor chart. I want to see the anchor chart candle close in the direction of the trade. So I'm looking at the anchor chart and I know exactly when that candle's going to close. So I've put a sell stop order in place in anticipation of that close. Now what happens is, of course, it may not close. We may continue in an uptrend. Okay, so let me just move this along a wee bit here, so we can see here we actually rallied up. I would have had to lift my stop up because we didn't get a bounce until here. Now sorry about little cough.